Welcome everybody to another episode of Nerds of Combat, where we talk about everything nerd related, whether it's movies, comic books, video games, TV shows, anime. Did I already say anime? Well, fuck it if I did or didn't. Welcome. We all pretty much go over these things together. Today we watched the final episode of Kenobi, and we're gonna go ahead and discuss it together, give our thoughts. Now, for those in the audience, you also have a chance to interact with us as well with this. There's a raise hand feature has been enabled, and you raise your hand if you want to weigh in on the topic, or if you want to bring up your own topic. So I'll call you up, and then you come over here to the your own little stand over here. You'll also be on camera being recorded, and you can ask your question or weigh in on whatever topic we have going on. I am your host, Static, along with my co-host to my left, right
Yeah,
here.
yeah, yeah.
What's up? I'm P-Dub. Just kidding. My name is Emoji. So dope.
Speaking of P Dub is our third host. He's not here right now today because he has some family stuff he's taking care of. But start off by talking about the final episode of Kenobi. Whew. OG, let's start with you. What's your thoughts on this final episode of Kenobi and how you feel about the series in general?
Ooh, man. I thought it was a good season finale. I'd probably give it
And
like an 8 out of 10.
and
Overall,
Doc, I see you with your hand raised. We'll get you up here in a minute. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
yeah, overall, I would give the series probably a 8. I know it wasn't perfect. There were definitely some flaws along the way, but I had a good time watching the show. And as a Star Wars fan, it was something I could easily consume. And I know y'all were talking about not wanting a part two or anything like that, but the way that the show has played out, it's definitely, led itself to those possibilities if needed. And if they do go that route, I'm sure they'll do as good a job as they did here, possibly even better. But as far as the finale itself, obviously the final battle was epic, well choreographed. So I appreciate them on that. Me, the third sister, still wasn't. I don't know. She just didn't really fit the show or the narrative for me. Not to say she's a bad actress, but she just wasn't like that relevant of a character to me for the show or the situation. So I could have done without her, or they could have found like better ways to use that time, in my opinion, for that character. But like I said, overall, I thought it was solid. Also, Darth Vader, why you keep not finishing people off? The previous episode, he let Reva live, he walked away, and then in this, he, you know, quote unquote, killed Obi and walked away. Like, didn't even try to confirm that he was dead, but you know, that's minor details. But overall, really, I like I said, dope, dope concept, dope show. Had a good time with it. Awesome.
Yeah, man. I fully agree with you there, man. For me, watching this episode was a great episode for me. I, I know last week I mentioned I was like the only way that this can probably end is if we wanted to connect to the original trilogies and stuff like that. This last fight, it's not going to be some draw or something like that. There's going to be a clear winner, which leads to anger, like Vader's clear anger that he has later on in the movies and stuff like that. And we got that.
Yeah,
We got Obi-Wan finally fully reconnected to the Force, and he bust his ass once he
yeah,
once he got fully reconnected to his old self, and he actually pulled out some new tricks out the bag. Like that
yeah,
that shit with the barrage of boulders. Like I haven't seen that before.
yeah. Glad they did that.
With no hand motions either, just out there teeing it up. It's looking like the fucking look like he's doing
Like,
YMCA or some shit like that. But
Goku with the
uh,
spirit bomb.
yeah, it was. It still amazes me that you bring back these two actors that have been out of the game for 50, well, almost 15 years, I believe,
Yeah,
and they still put on a better saber fight than the fucking new movies with these new characters. It just
yeah,
it blows my mind. Like there's no excuse of why
yeah.
your saber fights in these last couple movies have been trash. It just doesn't make
Or
any
at
sense to me.
least use your like force powers as creatively as they do in like some of the games that we be playing. Like,
Yeah, think you froze for a second. Yeah, he froze for a
Oh
second, so I'll
shit.
go ahead and take over.
My
Yeah, go
bad.
ahead.
What the fuck?
You're tracking?
Uh yes, yeah, just black screen. That's weird. But no, yeah, like, either have really dope choreography or like showcase force powers more creatively, and they did a little bit of both.
Yeah, they definitely did a bit of both. Now, oh yeah, come on close to the microphone. Yo, they can't hear you. You're not
Me?
amplified. There you go. But
Oh, my bad.
yeah, but yeah, amazing episode. Doc, come on down. You got your hand raised first. Come on down and give us your thoughts, Doc. And then right after Doc, we got Judo. And if anybody else want to raise their hand and weigh in on the Kenobi series for this final episode, please do so. We'll get you up here. Or if you want to talk about a different topic, raise your hand still. We'll get you up here. All right, Doc, what you got for us?
Man, Obi-Wan
Uh,
put a whooping on him this episode.
Oh
Yeah,
yeah,
he got his
sure did.
redemption. And I like the
Why didn't he
Inquisitor
kill him
because
though?
yeah, well, I kind of figured he wasn't going to kill him because that would, contradict the New Hope. That's why I'm saying they don't need to do nothing else after this. That should be one and done. There should be no season two. Because then you gotta, they kind of put themselves into a box because you can't do but so much to contradict the other movies. You know what I'm saying? So
yeah,
they don't need to do nothing else. That's it right there.
yeah. I can agree
You
with
know.
you. I can see them stopping it here. I don't think a season two is necessary, but they do have it to where if they decided to do a season two, it's set up to where they can. But
With
there's no reason to do
see,
so. Like,
yeah, but see, if they
yeah,
do decide to do season two, I don't think it should be Obi-Wan. I guess they could like see what the third sister did once she gave up everything. They could do something like that.
yeah,
But because you
Plus, he
don't
still
see
got the
her in
other
the
two Inquisitors.
yeah, they could be hunting her or whatever. And I like how that Inquisitor talk. He's just so menacing, so how you say
yeah. I was
so
hoping he had
so
like a little speech.
yeah
You know, I think he knew not to
so
overstep his bounds when
smug.
talking to Vader.
Yeah, so smug and you just want it makes you want to just slap him in his mouth. The way he talks.
You could tell like he knew where to cut it off at when talking to Vader. Usually when
Yeah,
someone talking to Vader, that conversation usually ends with being choked.
yeah.
And
He
like
was like,
he said
"No,"
what
he said, "I want
he
that
said what he
smoke."
had to say. He said what he had to say, and then was Vader like basically ignored it. He's like, oh, okay, I'll shut up
He said,
now.
"Okay." He said, "I don't want that smoke." But anyway, that's all I got.
I appreciate that, Doc.
Appreciate it. Appreciate it.
All right, Judo. I see you got your hand raised. You up next, man. What you got for us? I know you're the cameraman, so you kind of can't move, but let me give you a megaphone so that you can everyone can hear you. There it goes. All right.
Yeah, what's up? You can hear me?
Yes, sir.
Sir.
Yeah, so hold on a second. I got this thing in the way here. Yeah, so no, no surprise. I love the episode. I thought it was good. Um,
Yeah,
that lightsaber battle was a lot of fun. The one part where I think they messed up. Some people might argue that it might have been like too cheesy, but I would have wanted it was when Vader threw Obi-Wan in the pit. He was looking down on him. He should have said, "Now I have the higher ground." I was waiting for that line. He didn't. He didn't say it.
that would have been fucking great.
Yeah. I wanted that line so bad, but I don't know, man. I think they dropped the ball with that. I don't know if they remembered the prequels, but yeah. And speaking of the prequels, like I think this new series actually makes the prequels even better. Because like those last scenes you were seeing, where he's like talking with Leia and and Darth Vader's talking with Palpatine, and all of a sudden Qui-Gon Jinn Ghost shows up. Like I was getting all nostalgic vibes for like the prequels, and I didn't really like the prequels, but like it actually made me want to go back and watch episode 1 and 2, which I really didn't like. I loved episode 3, but 1 and 2 is like a struggle to watch for me. I don't think I watched it since those days. You know, like I think the Phantom Menace I only seen like maybe 3 or 4 times, and that's not normal for me with a Star Wars movie. Like normally, I watch it anytime it's on, but I can't watch that damn Phantom Menace. Like it bothers me. You know, other than the fight with Darth Maul, but
See,
most
like,
of it bothers me.
I
So I
never
like,
so maybe you can give me some clarity. And other people here that's seen I'm pretty sure everybody here has probably seen the original, not original trilogy, the trilogy of episode 1, 2, and 3. I never thought they were bad. Like honestly felt like they were the best of the
They were
Star
more
Wars
advanced.
movies. Yeah,
no,
yeah,
well
they're more advanced too. Like you got better fights, choreography, the story. Like it was just they
yeah,
delivered Star Wars really
yeah,
well
what
in
made
those
them,
movies. I don't understand what the gripe is.
yeah, what made them bad was like, in the original Star Wars, like you had a lot of action, a lot going on, and in the prequels, like it was just like too much talking, too much in that Senate chamber and all that stuff. Like we didn't care about that shit. Like we didn't, like we didn't, we didn't want to know about like not, we didn't want to hear politics. We didn't want to hear like some politic negotiation going on inside of a Star Wars movie. You know what I mean? Like
Hold on,
that's just not.
time out. Aren't you a Star Trek fan?
Yeah, I like Star Trek, but I don't like it for the politics.
Oh, yeah,
I like
politics.
Yeah, well, see, I don't want to get sidetracked with the Star Trek stuff, but let me just give you a little backstory with me on Star Trek. I started watching the Next Generation because I wanted to see space battles and I wanted to see them like run around and stuff. And like season after season, I was left disappointed because I'm like, these motherfuckers just talking, like they're not. So I'm not one of those Star Trek fans that I like all that stuff. Like I actually wanted to see them get into fights. That's the reason why I started watching Deep Space Nine because I'm like, all right, I think this where it's really gonna happen because they look like they're about to get down, and ain't nothing really happened there yet. So you're talking to the wrong fan with that. Like I actually do like
Yeah,
the battles.
you gotta remember, man. Like it's to have these constant star fights and everything, these dog fights in space and everything, and it costs some money. That shit costs some money.
Yeah.
You should watch a show called The Expanse called Judo. Amazon Prime.
Yeah. The you
Same
talking about
shit.
yeah, what show are you talking about? The new whatever, the one that's like a prequel, or you mean the cartoon one?
It's like just a completely different show.
All right. Oh, you said I didn't hear you. I think you said the new Star Trek. You must have said the Orville or something, right?
The Expanse.
Yeah, I've been watching Orville as well.
Ah.
But back to Star Wars. Go ahead.
Yeah, I got two. Yeah, I got two other points I want to make. That last battle with Obi-Wan and Darth Vader, like that should have been the battle with in Return of the Jedi. Like I was getting feelings of like Luke and Darth Vader, especially when he like cut the helmet off and all that stuff. Like I'm like, that's the fight choreography they should have had for Return of the Jedi. That would have been like so cool, And I don't know. I still think eventually they're gonna redo them. Like it's my theory that like with these TV shows, especially Obi-Wan, and like how Obi-Wan like kind of connected the prequels even more and gave them more validity. Like I think they're gonna leave the prequels as is, right? Those gonna be the official movies. Then we're gonna move into Obi-Wan, and then like 10 years later, that little Leia and that little Luke are gonna grow up to be whatever 2019, whatever age Luke and Leia were at that time. I think we're actually gonna get like a remake of the original Star Wars, and then I don't know what they're gonna do for Force Awakens and the other ones, but that's my theory. Like they could actually run with that because I mean like this Obi-Wan felt like a legit prequel. I mean not a legit prequel, like it felt like a legit sequel to episode 1, 2, and 3. And then I also have like one quick comment to talk about with continuation Obi-Wan because I believe that they can do that. So if you want to address my first comment, yeah, go ahead, and then I'll let you know what I think.
Yeah. So like I think would it be cool to see the original trilogy remake?
One second. Steam has to stay quiet in the back because like he's been coming up in the audio like the entire time. I can hear the conversation, so I know that's coming out on the show. So I don't know why he's not
Okay.
muted, but I'm sorry. Go ahead.
All right. Uh,
Yeah, go ahead.
okay, but so speaking on your first part with I I would appreciate the trilogy redone, or the original trilogy redone with better choreography and everything like that. If they leave it, I'm fine with it as well. But I think what the thing is, I think they're too afraid to remake those trilogies,
Yeah, yeah.
because if they remake those trilogies, they're gonna piss a lot of people off, regardless of how bad it is compared to what you got now. It was Star Wars was the shit. The original trilogy was the
Mm,
shit back in the day, and for its time, it was the greatest thing ever. And then you got newer generations that watch that movie, that they grew up with their parents, and then another generation of people that seen that movie and it was like, okay, this is the original set. I understand where it came from. Still a good story, wherever, however you want to put it.
mm,
It's the equivalent of getting the original X-Men series from the 90s, throwing it away, and just making it new. I don't think
mm.
anybody wants that, regardless of how they feel about X-Men. They just don't want that to happen. Um,
Yeah.
it's the same way people felt about Dragon Ball Kai for Dragon Ball Z. When they made Dragon Ball Kai and they cut out a whole bunch of shit and threw a bunch of other extra shit in there and changed Mr. Popo from black to blue and all kinds of bullshit. Like, people didn't like it. There's certain things that just don't need to be remade.
Mm.
And I think the Star Wars trilogy is one of them. Though, if it did get remade, me personally, I think it would be good if they do it like how they did episode one, two, and three. That's just me.
Yeah, yeah, because I want the prequels, and I want the prequels. I want the original movies to like match up, and they're never gonna have that unless they redo the original series and make it look just as good as because I mean the prequel stuff still holds up to this day. Like you can pop on a prequel movie, and it still looks like what we're seeing now with like Mandalorian and Obi-Wan and Boba Fett. You know what I mean? Like it looks good. It fits with also with whatever those Force Awakens and all that stuff. It's like the only one that's the odd man out is them damn the original, and I like the original too, but like you know, I think I would love for them to like remake it because like that stuff they did where they like CG'd it up, like they just ruined it. Like they already ruined the original film to begin with, so just let it remain in the archive. Give it out for free for all the fans. I mean, just move on from it. I don't think we need it anymore. And then my last comment, real quick, I do believe they can do a second season of Obi-Wan because you guys got to remember if you're familiar with like your Asian culture, your Japanese culture, your samurais, your Buddhist monks, like what they do is like you always have like that hero's journey thing where they you have like the spiritual guy who like he travels from town to town, he helps people out and stuff like that. So that's what I see Obi-Wan doing, and we got to see more Qui-Gon Jinn Force Ghost. So like what I'm thinking is he's going to be traveling. I hope it's not all just in that one planet because just watching desert all day is going to be boring. But like hopefully he gets to go to other planets. But I think he's going to be like traveling and just helping whoever he finds along his path. He's just traveling whatever, and then eventually he comes back to where we find him in New Hope where he saves Luke or whatever. But I think that's what he's going to be doing is just like being wandering around, staying hidden, and just helping people using his force powers and all that good stuff. That's what I see him
I
doing.
don't know if they can. I don't know if they can make a 6 episode season for that. I think probably the best thing to do for that would to do a one-off special for him completing his training with Qui-Gon. Because his
No, his
training is not
training is
complete.
complete.
No, his training is not
He's a
complete because he
Jedi
still has
master,
to
dude.
learn. No, no, he still has to learn how to reach the status of the status of the Force Ghost.
Oh, that
He
ghost stuff.
learns that from Qui-Gon later. Yeah, that once
Yeah, yeah,
once you achieve
yeah,
the
yeah. He
ability
can
to be
learn
a
to be a
Force
soldier.
Ghost, then your training is complete. At least for
All
the
right.
light side. So he still has to learn that. So
Yeah,
I
that can
mean,
be
if it
done.
was me, I'll do like a special, maybe a 1 hour special of him going through that process of achieving that training and that ultimate self being a self to where he does achieve the status of that Force Ghost, so that when he does when it does come to New Hope and he gets killed, you know why he comes back as a Force Ghost.
Yeah, but yeah, I don't know. Yeah, I don't know necessarily. Like, I don't want to keep running on with this, but like, I don't know necessarily that special thing will work, and just like we just get a special of him just training to become a Force Ghost. Like, I think like it'd be better like over time in a series where, like I said, like because if he's helping people, you're bringing in like individual characters and like you're learning about those characters. Like you've seen like the 1970s Incredible Hulk movie. Like that dude, that's basically what's going on with that dude. Like he was traveling from town to town, helping people out, turning into Hulk, beating the shit out of people, and then moving on to like another town. So like I think
Fucking bum with
I
anger
think that'd
issues.
be like yeah. But yeah.
Yeah,
So
a bum with anger issues. Yeah.
yeah. But that's my take on everything. I'm gonna let some other people talk. I've been on way too long.
I
All
appreciate.
right.
I appreciate that. Doc, come on down,
Yeah,
and then
thank
well, actually, Kuma, you come first because Doc already spoke before. Come on down, King Kuma. Yeah, come on down to the microphone and give your thoughts, sir. And you're a first timer, man. Welcome to the show. Glad you're here to get your nerd
How's it
cherry
going?
pop.
What's going on?
Can
What's
y'all
going
hear
on? What's
me?
going on?
Yes, sir.
Yep.
Okay, cool. So I'm a big Star Wars fan.
Here we
So
go. Yeah.
here's the thing. Big Star Wars fan, haven't even watched all of Kenobi yet. So I'm picking up what y'all are talking about, and I do believe when it comes to a second season of Kenobi,
Mhm.
yeah, I think they not so much as a special, but I think they can do another 6 episodes in terms of him completing training with Qui-Gon. Because I mean,
Hmm.
realistically, in the Clone Wars series, Yoda went through that same training, and it took 4 episodes
That's
to do
true.
that. But
That's
that
very true.
consider the fact that there was time skips in between those 4 episodes, and he visited a number of different planets, even Korriban, where like the Sith Lords were, and they even brought
Mhm.
back old Sith Lords like Darth Bane and stuff like that. So there's a lot of material that they can bring in, and they can have Qui-Gon visit those same planets for that training, or maybe even different planets for that training, and introduce different Sith Lords at the same time. There's just so much material that they can use off of that, especially since
Yep.
Clone Wars has already established kind of more or less the guidelines
Yes.
of reaching that status of a Force Ghost.
Yep. Agreed.
Yeah.
Completely
Yeah.
agree.
See, you got some backup here, Judo. You kind of convinced me a little
Yeah.
bit more about this, about this season 2, man.
Now, one of the one things I don't agree on is a
Mm.
remake of the originals.
Yeah, I see. I
I
figure you. It'll be. It's like a unspoken sin to remake the originals.
yeah, like when you hear remake, that's not one of the first movies that pops into anybody's mind. And the thing is there's so much material that goes around. Like those are already deep rooted. They're in there. A bunch of the shows and everything take inspiration from the originals. I they take inspiration from the originals, and I've noticed they're not going to be. I believe they're not going to be remaking any of the prequel or any of the movies, because there's already been so many adjustments that they've done through comics, through shows, through video games. That when that new I can grab the oh there we go, sorry. When
Yeah.
that new material comes out, it's actually how what do you call it? It's redacted as from like the old material, so that new material actually replaces that old material. So for
Okay.
example, in Kenobi, when Vader and him first meet in the original New Hope movie, when they meet, Vader hasn't seen Kenobi in so long, but they actually redacted that when they started this series. They were not supposed to be anywhere near each other in terms of what New Hope has already established, but this changes that. So I
I
mean,
mean,
for them,
I do. I do remember a piece of New Hope to where um they had their first standoff and uh Vader mentioned like, okay, this, last time, okay, right, last
Well,
time you
what he
were,
said.
yeah, like
Yeah, yeah,
he
yeah.
mentioned like last time you were the master and I was the apprentice or something like that. And now it's the other way around. It was something to that effect.
Yeah, and
So I
so that kind of alluded to like the prequels.
okay, go ahead. Sorry, I had to take care of that. We got you kept kind of getting in your face.
Oh, I didn't even notice there was somebody there.
Oh no, he's gone now.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, that actually alluded to the prequels, when he did say that line, because that was the most famous line, that a lot of people actually had put up there is, you know, um, he had said something similar to that effect, um, but that was in regards to the prequels. So now, um, Disney has said, with the new Kenobi series, they redacted that line. So even though we hear that in New Hope, we kind of have to just magically go, okay, he didn't say that. He didn't mean prequel at that point. He meant Kenobi series, and kind of like
Oh,
piece the puzzles
you know
ourselves.
what? Because you mentioned you haven't seen the entirety of the Kenobi series yet,
No,
right?
I'm on episode 3 right. No, 4 right now.
Okay, I think it was it four where it kind of measures up of the scene from New Hope and then because I don't want to spoil it for you. I don't know if you've seen it already. I can't remember exactly what episode it
I
was.
haven't seen it just yet.
Okay, it connects it. You'll see it. That's all
All
I'll say.
right, all right, all right.
Okay.
But yeah, like, one of the major things was Kenobi's age as well. Apparently that was like a big thing, like how they aged him up, or they aged him down for this series. Then people were like, well, no, a couple of years does that to you, turns you, 50 years old, makes you look like an old man. So like that's where we have to kind of like piece in the pieces ourselves. And I feel like
Yeah.
putting so much budget into a movie to basically tell the same story and just add stuff to it, it's just another, I guess, another way of them doing the whole CGI thing but with extra steps.
Oh man, you would have loved being here when we was talking about Mandalorian and Boba Fett and all
Oh man,
every series and movie that comes out, we're talking about it. So you might as well just be here.
I stumbled upon this place and I saw nerd stuff and I was just like, yeah, that's my thing. Just followed y'all on Facebook a couple minutes ago too.
Oh, you get a Facebook group? Okay, yep, you'll be seeing it in there
Yeah,
too.
yeah.
All right.
So, but yeah, I hope to be back. I'm gonna let somebody else talk, and I might weigh in on more opinions depending on what comes
Okay,
my
yeah,
way.
great. Hey, great points, man. Glad that you weighed in. Go ahead, you got some good thoughts up in there, buddy.
Where do I put this? I don't want to
Welcome
drop
to the
it.
show. Yeah, yeah, you can just drop it. It'll respawn.
All
Appreciate
right,
that, King
awesome.
Kuma.
Thanks.
Appreciate appreciate that, Kuma. And I was gonna say my tracking's fucking up, so if I stop talking for a second, that's why. But
Okay,
to his point, like,
scoot up
yeah, a
to the
lot of
mic.
people. Oh, y'all hear me?
Yeah.
Okay. To Kuma's point, shit. To Kuma's point, a lot of people were complaining about, Obi-Wan not looking as old as he does at the start of New Hope. So if they wanted to, like this next, Obi-Wan season part two could be like 5 years before he meets Luke again. So like he meets Luke in the New Hope when Luke is 19, right? Like right around
I
19.
don't know the exact. I don't know the
He's
exact
about
age.
Basically,
he's
there could be
about
a
like
number.
19, 20. He's young.
Okay, so we're
Okay,
looking at another 10 years from the series then, because
so
they're
yeah,
10 in the
so the
series.
end. So yeah, the end of this Kenobi series, like just tag on a few more years and then make him have a little bit more gray on his face while he's doing like what Kuma's saying, like could be going and helping people or doing other things. At the
He's
very
fucking
least,
stressed out for helping people and shit. You fucking get face.
yeah, and at the very least, Clone Wars has given us the template of how you can use pace in a number of different ways in Star Wars. So they could use like 2 episodes of like him doing one mission, 2 episodes of him doing another mission, or it could be 3 episodes of
Yeah.
him doing one mission and 3 episodes of him doing a second mission. So they could do like, or each episode be its own mission, or quest or whatever you want to call it. But
They're
they could
going
definitely
like
do a
the
lot of things.
Mandalorian route.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, pace. They could do a lot of things with the potential series.
Well, not to mention
Thanks, Steve.
they've already kind of introduced the magic aspect in the universe with like the Night Sisters and Mother
Oh yeah,
Talzin
Night Sisters and shit.
in Clone Wars. So it's not far fetched to say maybe he went on a mission and there was some dark magics and maybe it sapped some of his life force. Maybe he turned old, not by age itself, but maybe dark magic of Sith or something
True.
that we don't know about just yet. So I mean, could do that. There's a bunch of different things that they can do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Might have to
Completely
get
agree.
you might have to get you in the Lucasfilm studio, man.
One day.
All right, appreciate that, King. All right, Doc, come on down.
Appreciate
After
that.
King, you got. I mean, after Doc, we got who's second? Oh, Judo.
What's up, Doc?
Hey, 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 yeah. All right, here's the thing. Here's the thing about, rebooting, redoing, and all this stuff. They should redo the sequel trilogy. That's the one that needs to be redone.
Oh, the one with
Yeah,
with
the one
Ray
that
and
they
Kylo and all them.
Yeah, the one they screwed Finn over. Yeah, they
Uh-huh.
need to redo that one. That's the only
Um,
trilogy I think they need to redo. That's
I
my
don't
opinion.
I don't know about redo, but maybe fix.
How can you?
Cause
How can you fix that?
they're working on it right now with the series, with all these TV shows and series and stuff like that. So I'm pretty sure they'll find some way to fill it in and fix it some way. But I think
Yeah,
I don't think it's done so much damage to where like it needs to be completely removed.
well, I thought, I liked The Force Awakens. I thought, The Last Jedi was all right. I really wanted to like the last one, The Rise of a Skywalker. I tried to like them. I just couldn't.
Yeah,
I tried so hard.
I understand your frustration on that. I know a lot of
Yeah.
people's frustration came to the point that was like, okay, so you telling me no one is actually a Skywalker? They're all Palpatines. Like, yeah, I
Yeah.
get it.
Yeah, this just yeah, I don't know, man. Anyways, that's all I got.
This fucking mic drop. Come on down, Steam. You next, and then Judo, you got your chance too.
Now, where the heck did he launch it to? I
Or
gotta
just wait for it.
to respawn because
Yeah, just wait for it to respawn. he dropped that mic all the way to hell.
Doc.
Dropped it. Yeah, he dropped that mic all the way to hell. It'll respawn in a moment. But in the
There it is.
meantime, oh, there it goes. Go ahead,
There it
Steam.
is. Yeah, I have to. I'm gonna add a little thing on it. That remake that you've been talking about. Like, no, I don't think they even need to do this to do the original trilogy. They really just need to do is like what Doc just said, fix the newer trilogy with the Skywalker saga. Because like honestly, it's had cool concepts. Don't get me wrong. It had cool, very unique concepts, but it just felt like a carbon copy of the original trilogy, which is like it's like you watch a war, and you watch the aftermath of a war, then you're watching another aftermath of a war. It was a boring trilogy. You should have seen them rebuild.
Well,
instead
I
of-
think that's the entirety of Star Wars. Really, like the whole thing is an aftermath of a war. Like everything.
Yeah, but I mean, but yeah, it is. It's either that, but I would actually preferred them to be in a whole new era, in a war like the original trilogy, or at least on the brink of one. You get what I mean?
Yeah.
It should have been like at the very least they should have been on the brink of war, not in the middle of a other rebellion. she's like at this point divided in two.
Yeah.
That's my personal opinion. If they were ever to do another trilogy, they should just have it on the brink of war, kind of like in Star Trek or in a couple other shows, or like Legend of the Guardians Galaxy. That's another good show. It's like that, all about war and politics.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's politics.
Yeah, it's just like what I say. I say that. That's like the biggest thing with Star Wars. And again, that original saga is like religion for sci-fi nerd at this point. Basically, the Bible at this point for the sci-fi, uh, television sci-fi. Am I not wrong?
No,
No?
you're not. Me personally, what I would like to see is like the next movie would be, since the last one is supposedly supposed to the era or whatnot. Next one should be a whole new era. I think they should do like, I don't know, decades, maybe a century after Ray and them, and then we see the actual birth of the new Sith starting, because like, according to Star Wars, this is going to happen over and over anyway. The dark and light side is going to reset constantly throughout the time in general. So it's never just going to stop.
Yeah, it would be amazing if we saw like a retelling of like what we had in like old canon, with the not with the current canon, with the old Legends canon, where we got the great battles with the Sith, kind of like a retelling of those stories from Legends. Probably making some nuances to that, kind of like to bring them in the comics. It just would make more sense, in my personal opinion.
Yeah.
Wouldn't it make it to you?
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of different ways they can do it. I mean, go with it, and they've already been shown to drag in some Legends characters and stuff like that into the shows and in these movies and everything. So it's definitely not far fetched.
Yeah, like right now, they even like, cause like a lot of people forget like Starkiller base was like was supposed to be a reference to.
Oh, I'm glad you brought that up. Yeah.
To the Darth Vader's secret apprentice.
Yeah,
if I remember correctly.
I seen it going around like the in episode 5 where he pulled out that sack and he had all those sabers in that little sack.
Yeah. That would be amazing if we could ever
everyone
even
was
get
saying
to
the one on the far right looked like Starkiller saber, and this is when Starkiller. This is after the games and he's on the run. But even though previously Starkiller was non-canon, but this could be their way of working it into it and making it canon. Who knows if that is true? But that's fan theories, and we come up with all kinds of shit.
It could be. But remember, they did mention a whole base back in when they redid the trilogy. That whole big Death Star carbon copy was called Starkiller Base. So they could have just been referencing that as like an homage to the old Sith Lord's apprentice.
Yeah.
Because remember, Kylo Ren basically worshipped his uncle. Basically worshipped him.
I could have done without him taking off that fucking helmet in the movies. He could have left
me
that
too.
until the last one.
But I think the only reason why they did that is because we had the same kind of situation with Darth Vader. We just we only got to see his face at the very end, and it's like,
yeah.
But I agree. They should have at least had somewhat revealed, not fully revealed, somewhat revealed. It'd be like a good-looking guy under the mask, just not evil, completely not good at the same
Driver
time.
Ain't no good-looking guy. You don't need to be.
You know what? It's kind of like the story of the Iron Mask. If you're familiar with like that kind of concept where a guy does a criminal and they're supposed to put in like an iron mask.
Mm-hmm.
That's kind of like the concept of it, but in some cases you wear the iron mask because people are jealous of how you look or what you're capable of. That's another reason why that you would put that kind of concept on there. But the way they did it in Star Wars was just crap because it's like, bitch, this is what I am.
Yeah, for him, it was just more so of an obsession with his grandfather.
Yeah, it just didn't make sense.
Yeah, I think we all got to that point.
Yeah.
All right.
I know people are mad about that.
I appreciate that, Steam. All right, Judo, go ahead and give us your finishing thoughts on it. Are you raising your hand, King? I thought he was raising his hand. Okay. Judo, give you the megaphone real quick, and then once we get done with your point, we'll go ahead and move on to something else.
Yo, first, wait, go.
All right, you have the floor, sir.
Yeah, first before I say, I gotta say, you guys talking about that Kylo Ren just like made me think about something funny. Like when when Luke Skywalker found out that Darth Vader was his father, he was like horrified, upset. You know, Princess Leia was upset. They told this motherfucker Kylo his grandfather was Darth Vader. He was like, cool.
I want to be just like him.
That's so cool as shit. Yeah. No, but the two the two things I want to bring up is please do not remake the last three movies because I'm a big Rey fan. Like the only characters I care about in Star Wars is Yoda, Baby Yoda, Rey, and Wicket from the Ewoks. Those are the only four that I care about in any of the movies, any of the shows, any of that stuff. So I don't want them to like take Rey out of the whole canon of Star Wars because I love her, and that's what I gotta say about that. So please do not remake, but you can definitely remake that original trilogy because it's not holding up with the new stuff.
They need like Zack
to
Snyder's
reiterate
version.
what Steam said, like Rey, like the new ones, they had great concept. I thought Rey was a great concept as well. So I can rock with you on that about you liking Rey and everything.
I just like how she looked. That's all, but
her execution was doo doo water.
Nah, it was that whole. I mean, not to get all into that, but like especially the last one, like the last day of Skywalker, whatever it's called. It's just the directing. Like they just rushed it. Like that should have been a 3-hour movie, especially since it's like the last of the Skywalker trilogy. So that movie should have been like 3 hours. They completely rushed it.
And it didn't help that they had two different directors that weren't basically communicating how the story should go and everything like that, and it just they made some mistakes there.
Yeah, because people don't understand. People don't understand that J.J. Abrams is not all that great. Like people want to like, they want to like christen him the next Steven Spielberg, who's not really that great either, and
Wow. Hey, you said what about Steven Spielberg?
Yeah, I'm not. Yeah, I mean, the thing I don't like about him is he refuses to make sequels. Like he's kind of snobby about that stuff, and I think sequels are fun, especially when it's like a popcorn movie. You want sequels to popcorn movies. I understand you don't want a sequel to like Saving Private Ryan or something like that, but come on, man, give us a sequel to E.T.
We ain't got enough time to talk about this shit.
Yeah. But
we gonna, next week.
Yeah,
next week
anyway,
we're gonna talk about that. You gonna be in the hot seat, sir.
Yeah, that's a good one, the nerd hot seat. But the last thing I just want to bring up was I don't know if they could do this legally, but you know how like Marvel has the whole What If series. I would love like a What If Star Wars series. It could be animated as well, and just like because I got ideas like what if Luke Skywalker would have.
We kind of get that with the didn't we kind of get that with the animated thing that they gave us not too long ago?
Visions.
Yep. Not so much with that, but like my my thing is like going all out with it and like having a universe where Luke Skywalker is the Darth Vader and Princess Leia is the hero and she has to try to convert her brother back, or even the opposite, where it's Princess Leia who's over there wrecking up shit and Luke Skywalker tries to bring her back, or maybe the both of them working together try to save their father, or maybe it's Padme this time and not Anakin. Maybe she kills Anakin. Like just so many ways you can switch it around and look at it. I think I would love to explore a lot of that stuff because I feel because of the original stuff, like we're kind of like locked in this mode of this has to be this and that, and I would love to see them like just play around with it for a little bit and give us some new ideas. And the other last thing I wanted to make was the whole thing about Obi-Wan's age. I don't even get that because you know how much somebody can age in 10 years? Like, to me, he looks about how old Obi-Wan should be looking at that age anyway, because Luke Skywalker's still a kid. 10 years from now, he's going to be all old and busted and shit, so I don't think they're off with the age. Like, I thought that was actually a good idea to just leave him like he is, because I think he's old already now. Isn't he, he's in his mid-50s or whatever, which would have been
you can see it on his face. Like, when they do the close-ups on there, you can see he don't look too well.
Yeah, he's old. So, it made total sense to me. That's another reason why I feel, if they go 10 years later and let those kids grow up, they're going to be 2019. he's gonna look just as old as the original Obi-Wan, and then we could do
Yeah,
some
but
some
like
fun
I
stuff.
think it goes to the fact that like in the New Hope, Obi-Wan he looked old as shit. Like he looked dirt old in there. That man like had a hunch. He had a hunch and everything. So like I think that's what it comes to. Like yeah, the Ewan McGregor or age 10 years. I don't think he's gonna look that old as he did in New Hope. Like he looked old as shit.
Yeah,
Trust
Casey,
me,
they
can
he
I
keep
will.
jump
calling
in on
him
you on that?
He will,
Obi-Wan.
man. Trust me, he will. Oh, and
Casey,
one other thing I wanted to make was the whole thing about Kylo Ren. It's like I can't believe that Han Solo and Princess Leia made an ugly kid like that. Like you wouldn't think they would make an ugly kid, but that motherfucker's ugly. That's what I have to say. All right.
This is Adam Dick guy, Adam
Big
Driver,
nose.
the Kylo.
No bastard.
All right, appreciate that, Judo. Okay, King Kuma got his hand up again. Go ahead, come on down, King Kuma. I know you want to weigh in on something. Once Kuma closes that off, then we'll go ahead and move on to another topic before we close out the show. We can't hear you. Unmute yourself, and then you should be good.
There we go. I was having technical
There you go.
difficulties. Okay, so you're probably one of the very first people that I've met that, has said, I like Ray. And I suppose I commend you because you are one of the first people I've ever met that have said that. Um, Personally, I do not like the newest trilogy. After doing two Death Stars, they do a bigger Death Star, and like it's just I can get into that for days. But what I'm getting at is I'm not a biggest fan of that one. It was entertaining. Cinematography was great. There's a wider variety of aspects of why it's a very entertaining movie. It's an entertaining movie. Does it fill the void for Star Wars? To me, not really. It doesn't. It feels like it's lacking soul like the other ones. Um, I feel like that the new cast that they casted for that was just kind of like a hand-me-down version of the previous characters, but with the lack of character development or the lack of personality from the previous ones. Um, Good thing is I've heard is that they are gonna remain in the continuity of Star Wars, but in a parallel timeline. And so what's gonna happen is you were saying that they're trying to fix it with the series, right? So the Ahsoka series actually might be the remedy to the new trilogy. Reason being is because in Rebels, Ahsoka has has a special role in Star Wars. If y'all haven't seen Rebels yet, I'm not gonna spoil
I
it.
love it. I
But
love Rebels.
we
yeah,
love it.
I Rebels is great, man. And
I haven't
so
seen it, but I know she fights Vader.
yeah, she does. But she has a special role. Oh, I grabbed that. She has a special role in Star Wars. And so during that role she uses specific artifacts. They're mirrors that you can look into different events in
Yeah.
a certain timeline. And if you remember, what was the last movie called? Rise of Skywalker, or was that's what it was called, right?
Yeah. Yeah. Rise of Skywalker.
Okay. So if you remember in one of the scenes where they're on the second Death Star, and Ray goes into that room with all the mirrors. So they're saying basically the information that they gathered was those same mirrors that the Emperor had in that room were the same mirrors that Ahsoka uses. And so what's what's in the grapevine is that she's basically going to use the mirrors to prevent certain events from happening so that a new timeline branches off and they're going to be making a new trilogy from that branching timeline, and that one's going to be the main canonical trilogy, not the previous one.
Yeah,
So
that'd
the
be
previous
interesting
one
to
is
see how
still
that
going
plays.
to be there. Go ahead. Sorry.
I said, oh no, I was just saying that'll be interesting to see how they work that out, how that plays out.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of information there. Um, Hopefully they do something with it. I would like to see kind of like a branch off. What I really want to see is he had mentioned a a brand new movie like something different, and what I personally want to see is the original script that was made but made into a movie, because I mean the original script got adapted into a comic book not too long ago,
Yeah,
and it is vastly different. Like, it is
Mm.
so completely different than the Star Wars we got today, and I would like to see that as a
yeah.
movie.
The comic books are
Okay.
actually really fucking good. Like they're really good.
Mm.
Yeah, the comics super good. If y'all big Star Wars fans, I suggest reading the comics. They add a lot of depth into the characters, especially some of the new comics for the newer trilogy as well. Gives more in depth the characters as well, for like Rey, Poe, and Finn. I
I
mean, I
think
would
you
really recommend that.
OG, I think you would love the Bad Batch series of comics. Like theirs are pretty good as well. You actually
The
get
cop.
the Bad Batch one, and then there's another one for the Knights of Ren. They have one as well.
I didn't even know there was a comic for the Bad Batch.
Yeah, there's a comic for the Bad Batch.
I'll probably
Don't
I'll
forget the
probably
Vader
read that.
comic.
Thank you.
Don't forget the Vader. Vader comic's amazing.
Oh
Vader
yeah, we
ones.
know that.
All of them, all the ones that have come out for Vader have been really, really good. The newest run has been extremely well received.
Yeah. All right, appreciate that. Cool. Guess drop some knowledge on us as usual.
Thank you.
Well, I won't say as usual, but like for your first time here, yeah. The second time up, yeah.
Thank you. Thank you.
All
Here.
right, all right. Now, Doc, get you. Uh, he's shaking his hand. All right, so now let's talk about our last piece here. I know. Well, before we talk about that, next week watch the newest episode of Miss Marvel, and we'll kind of go from there. Talk about that, but we'll go ahead and talk about what Doc has been fucking egging us about. Come on down, Doc. It'll respawn.
Oh.
Oh, he had it.
What'd you say? What'd you
welcome
say?
to the show, Mike. But
Yeah. What up, Mike? You chilling like a villain? Anyways, yo. All right, no, I'm gonna let y'all start. Go ahead. Y'all
all right,
start.
so we'll move on to the newest episode, Boys. For those of you watching The Boys, it's a series on Amazon Prime that's centered around a Boys comic book. Newest episode came out by the name of Herogasm. Let me go ahead and add that. Doc, I know you've been down to talk about that, so you go ahead and lead us in on it.
Well, I'm gonna say this. It wasn't nowhere nearly as bad as that first episode of season 3. I don't know if that desensitized me or what, but
That love sausage was
yeah,
weird.
that one was when the guy came on and the guy goes look at her, you big black
Oh,
bear. Was it big brown bear? What did he say?
or something
But
like that.
yeah, that and the whole thing with the deep, that was crazy. Because I kind
Oh
of saw
yeah.
that coming.
Yep.
But
Yep.
yeah,
But that
No pun
fight,
intended.
with Homelander, that was most satisfying right there. I've been waiting 3 seasons to see that happen to him.
yeah, because they definitely jumped that man. They jumped the shit out of him.
Yeah, I like when Butcher looks at him after he shoot. He goes, "Oi!" and he shoots the laser in his chest.
Yeah,
Oh, man. They beat
The
they,
hero gasm, the whole hero gasm thing. It wasn't as it didn't shock me
man,
as much as I guess they let it out. They kind of made it seem that it was going to be
yeah.
like
No, that comic book, no, it ain't nowhere nearly as bad as the comic book.
yeah, it's
No,
nowhere near, not even close.
no, not even
What'd you
close.
say?
Especially
What'd you say about
with the
the
whole
Homelander fight?
Homelander, with the whole
Shit's messing up.
Homelander and Soldier Boy thing in the comic. It didn't happen
Yeah,
in that show. Thank goodness. But yeah, yeah, they beat Homelander down. He almost got him. The dude was
yeah.
like looking in the mirror, all sad, like I just got beat up.
And I actually did want to talk about that. Like Anthony Starr did an amazing job acting in that particular episode. I mean, he's been good this whole series, but
Mhm.
in that particular in this particular episode in the
Great
beginning
ish.
where he was talking to himself in the mirror and he had those like kind of two personalities to
Yeah.
where like you know the one in the mirror was the evil conniving like hey I'm tired of this shit side of him and then
Right.
his actual body was like this little timid kid that was like oh no sir kind of like the back and forth he had between himself was amazing.
So did he always? I don't remember him having that in the previous seasons. Did he always have that in the mirror, or did that just
So
start
so no no
happening?
so this the mirror was we actually got to look at how his psyche works.
Uh
We
huh.
and throughout the first two seasons he kind of like would flip back and forth between how
Mhm.
he would kind of talk to people and how he kind of presented himself. Now we kind of have a solid understanding why motherfucker is
Okay. Crazy.
definitively crazy. We knew he was
Yeah,
crazy, but now it's like
and it,
okay, it's solidified.
yeah, they did. But I think they kind of beat that part out of him because when you were looking in the mirror, it wasn't
Oh
nothing
yeah,
there. They
he,
beat it out of him.
he was crying. He ran from that fight as soon as he could. He's like, nope, I'm gone.
I've never seen. He's never had that happen to him before.
Yeah, he got his ass whipped.
Oh, yep, you lost
He,
your co-host. What in the world?
yeah,
You
yeah,
lost him.
his headset probably died or something like that, but it's okay. We're
Yeah.
good. But he was standing there with that bruise on his face. He's like, man, I've never had a bruise in my life.
Yes.
He's got one now.
Yeah. Yo, they humbled him. They humbled
Yeah,
him.
they humped him.
Yeah.
Even Huey got a hit in on.
Yo, what's up with his power though, man? It's like he can't keep his clothes on. And
Yeah, he
anybody he
teleporting.
teleports, they
Butt ass
get
naked.
naked too.
Like I've always tried to figure out like what is the deal with that with boys? Like why do a lot of these powers require you to be naked? Like the invisibility one with translucent, you gotta be naked. You want to teleport really good, you gotta be naked. Like I don't
Now, see,
understand what's the
I kind of understand the translucent one where you got to be naked because that's his skin. But if you
yeah
could teleport a human being, you can teleport clothes too.
yeah I don't understand it.
I don't
And
get
not
that.
only that, like when he teleported her, all her clothes fucking fell off
Yeah, her
too. So
clothes
it's
are
like.
gone too. Yeah, I was like, daggone, she need to get a tan. What I saw there.
It just didn't make sense. Like I
Yeah,
don't know. It's weird, but
it was
I
weird.
think we got
Yeah,
possibly two more episodes, and I'm pretty sure. I think we're going to get the storm of the Capitol, him storming the Capitol coming up.
yeah,
I think
because
that's gonna
I
be.
think
I think that's gonna be this season.
yeah, I think they whereas I think this whole series is about to wrap up because they where that she's throwing up. Oh Lord.
Oh look, oh man, look.
Oh, oh bye. Oh, anyways,
Okay, I can't even hold the liquor. Oh my goodness.
yeah, she get. Oh my goodness, somebody take her tab away from her. Oh, anyways, yeah, I think it's finding down though. Yeah,
Yeah.
but good lord, waiting for Invincible to come back.
Oh yeah,
That's what I'm waiting on.
I can't wait for Invincible to come back. Has anyone else here been watching the Boys or seen the Invincible series or read the comics by any chance?
Raise your hand so you can come on up here. Anybody?
Yeah, those are great. So I haven't got any word when it's gonna start back up, but I will say this: it did announce an official. They're right now they're doing they're halfway done with the animation of season 2 of Masters of the Universe.
Hmm.
I was
Interesting.
I was ready for it. Tell you
Okay.
that
Well,
much.
it's look as long as they don't spoil everything in the trailer, I'm good with it.
Yeah, I
They
think they may have
showed
learned from their first
everything.
mistake on that one. Yeah, I think they learned from their
Yeah.
first mistake on that one. And
I know
also too,
Kajudo's excited.
I hope we don't get like they did the last time, 5 episodes
Yeah.
and then 5 episodes
Yeah.
like a month later. Like, don't do
Yeah.
that.
They
You
they're
might as well
probably
just
gonna
drop
do
them all
that.
together. Yeah, just drop them all together. Like,
Yeah. Yeah. You know Kajudo's excited. He's a big He-Man fan.
that's me
Didn't he
right
like?
there, right there
Yeah.
in that corner,
Hey.
right there. He-Man Revelations,
Yeah.
Masters
But
of the
hey,
Universe.
Kajudo, didn't you used to like dress up as He-Man when you was growing up, like all the time? And didn't he?
So basically, you tell me he walked around in just like furry draws.
Yeah. Perhaps.
It's just,
Probably.
that's what He-Man wear, furry draws and a
Yeah.
harness.
Yeah. That's pretty much like bondage, man. And somebody had a bondage fetish when they made this guy.
Oh god. Oh
Yeah.
boy. All right, it's 7:55. We're gonna go ahead and wrap it up. And for our two newcomers here, if you stick around for a minute, once we wrap it up, we'll take you to the open world to where it's open 24/7. You can hang out there, bring your buddies there. There's pool tables there and uh, chess games and Connect Four and
Stay
YouTube
for the
players,
after
all that good
show.
stuff. Yeah. So, um,
Yeah.
with that being said, this is the wrap up of another episode of Nerds of Combat. I am your host, Static, and my co-hosts are not here at the moment, so it's just me. And y'all have a great day. We here every Saturday, 6 p.m. Come around and enjoy. Peace out, motherfuckers. We out here.